Last week, I shared a video where I told you guys how I met my husband, but my husband watched it and said that is not exactly how it happened. Hi everyone, my name is Sikari. You are welcome to Life with Sikari. So before I continue the story, let me correct one important detail, because this phone call changed our life completely. You are part of those who watched the first one, the part one. You will understand from this bit, but even if you're not part of those that actually watched the part one, just try, listen to this one and you can go back and you can catch up. So you guys remember the part where I said I called him after he completely ignored me for days, right? Well, my husband watched the video and corrected me immediately. Here is what happened after I told him I wasn't interested in any relationship. Let's get right into the video. So guys, after I told my husband that I was not interested in the relationship, Mr. Man boned me, he ignored me and traveled to Orlando in America. So I waited day 1, day 2, day 3. I did not hear anything from this man. Even though I knew I wasn't interested in any relationship, I still wanted him around, you understand? I believe in, getting to know somebody for at least, 6 months, 8 months to 1 year before you talk about relationship. But obviously, he wasn't that kind of person. He already made up his mind, okay, I like this lady and I think this can actually work between us. But I wasn't there yet, okay? So he was there, but I wasn't there. So he ignored me for all those days. He traveled to America. I was not like, who does this man think that he could just, ignore me like that and just travel? So I became angry and then I sent him a message. He read, he did not reply. I sent him a second one. He read, he did not reply. I sent him a third one. He read, he did not reply. I got pissed. And then I started sending him episode of messages. I told him, you are a useless man. You are just like every other ones, every other man around. Trust me, guys, you see this part, I did not remember. He was the one who told me all these things. So I did not remember all this part. So I told him, I said, you're a useless man. You're just like every other man, every other normal guy around, useless and all of that. I was like, me, Sikari, I said that. He said that was the reason he called me. So apparently I wasn't the one who called him. So when he got that message, so I told him, you are a useless man. You're just like every other man. And then I now told him, so you think you could just use and dump me? You understand? That was when Oga called me. My husband read a bit of law, you understand? He's into, how do I put it? He's a legal counsel. So they take accusations like that very, very serious. So he didn't, let me not say another word again. So he called because he was like, okay, this is getting out of hand, you understand? I need to call this lady to know what exactly the problem is. Then he called me. He didn't stop there. He called me. I kept saying what I was saying, how he wasted my time, how he did this. And mind you, we have not seen face to face before. So my brothers, my sisters, there was nowhere he used me. Me that was even busy streaming. He did not use me anywhere. I was just accusing him. But try to understand this. I liked this guy and I didn't want to lose him. So I really needed to do something that would draw his attention back to me, okay? So that was why I was saying all those things I was saying to him. And it worked. If you see the video now, you say, it worked. So when I said all those things, but seriously, I actually felt bad when he said I called him a useless man, that he was just like every other useless man. So while we were arguing back and forth, then he asked me, he said, Sikari, what do you want? And that question sounded like a last time question. So if you say this, that is what it is. If you say that, that is what it is. You understand? So when he said, what do you want? I told him, how did I put it? I can't really remember all this story. No, it's been a while. So, but I just told him that I was interested. You understand? I'm ready to have a relationship. I'm ready. I think that was what I said. I said I'm ready. And he was like, ready for what? Then I said, I'm ready to have a relationship with you. I'm ready for us to have a relationship. And that was how it started. So I've corrected this part, right? Now let's get right into the continuation of this particular story. So after that, now I and my husband, we kept talking on phone, he will call me, but because I was mostly busy, and when I am busy, he is really not free. How was it again? Because I told you again, I was streaming, so I usually stream most of the days. I don't have time, like I am always online. I was streaming on about, I think, 5 apps. Man, there was no sleep for me. There was no sleep. I was always online. So We kept talking. When he is free, like he goes to work in the morning by 7 o'clock. So by this time now, when our relationship have started, I have already confirmed that NSPPD prayer takes place on Facebook and on which other app again? I think on Facebook first before I even found out about TikTok. So and you know NSPPD prayer starts by 7 a.m. So he leaves the house 7 a.m. or before 7, you understand? I think before 7. So when he leaves and he calls me, I have to cut him short because I have to join my prayer, you understand? So it now happened that when he is free to talk, I am not free. Then when I am free, he is not free. You understand? So when I had to balance it, so I told him, you know what, I will call you when I'm done. So what happens, Matthew, today? We don't even talk in the morning. We talk after I am done with my prayers, because when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do, but one thing we do is that we text, okay? So we text. So that was how it started then. And because I was live streaming and he was a busy man, so along the line I wasn't that busy again. So I stopped I stopped streaming on so many apps because I wasn't getting enough sleep. My eyes were, I was having under eyes because I wasn't resting. So I stopped streaming too much. I cut down from 5, I cut down to 3. Then from 3, I cut down to 2. Right? Yes, I cut down to 2. In fact, the app where we met, I Kokuma left that one because that app is stressful. Because if you are on Bigo, you have to join a club, and when you join the club, you have targets every month. So and now it's not the club that is giving you the targets, it is the app itself that is giving you the targets. And if you don't meet that target, you will not be paid for that month. Okay, so there was already enough stress on Bigo, and I was already adding other apps on top. I was just looking for money. So now that I had an Odogu on my side, I needed to just cut down my hustle a bit. So I started streaming on just 2 apps, you understand? But I wasn't streaming on Bigo again. I left Bigo because, like I said, Bigo is a target this thing. Like you need to meet up every month. If they give you, if they say make 100,000 this month, next month they will say make 150. I'm just giving this as an instance. Then the next month after, you're making 200. It does not go down, it only goes up, you understand? So that's why you see a lot of girls or a lot of people, men on Bigo, they are going crazy. Some of them are doing horrible things just to make sure that they meet up their targets, you understand? So I had to just leave that one and calm down a bit. So this relationship progressed until my husband started making plans for me to come visit him in the Netherlands. It wasn't easy. I wasn't, they were not giving me the visa because Nigeria is tagged red. So they gave me all sorts of reasons why they will not give me visa. Number one was if I don't have strong ties in Nigeria. If I leave, I wasn't going to come back. And I don't have strong family ties. I don't have anything holding me in Nigeria, and truly I didn't have anything as of then, you understand, except my family. So, and because we were not, it was just boyfriend and girlfriend, I was just dating. So I think 1 year into the relationship, we started talking about marriage. I can't even remember, and I don't want to say what is not true, you understand? So we started talking about marriage, and from there, when he saw that I couldn't come, he decided to come. So he did not go for vacation, or he didn't go off work for a whole year. Then he gathered all those off time, all those vacation period, he put it in December, and then we're already planning to get married. So before he came to Nigeria, I already made a lot of preparation. He only had 3 weeks to spend in Nigeria. So and that 3 weeks we chose to use it wisely because there were some things that we still needed to do before the court wedding. So he came to Nigeria, and then let me tell you guys a bit of how when he came to Nigeria. So it happened that when he applied, even before then, he already applied like twice, you understand, to come to Nigeria. They didn't give him the visa. Remember, I was applying before, so when it wasn't working for me, he decided to apply 2 good times. They didn't give him the money, they didn't tell him yes, they didn't tell him no, like on one site or something like that. So we lost a lot of money when it came to that. And then on the second thought, when I was talking to one of my girlfriend whose husband is a lawyer, then she suggested that her husband could help. So excuse me, let me adjust this mic. So she told me that her husband could help, and we're so grateful. So guys, guess what, within 1 week everything about my husband coming to Nigeria actually worked, because we used my girlfriend's husband's company, because he's a lawyer, you understand, here in Nigeria. So he invited my husband. Of course, we paid money for that, so he invited my husband to come. So my husband, I got ready to travel to go meet my husband in Lagos, because the court wedding was going to take place in Lagos. And if you're wondering why we decided to go for court wedding first, we had to do that first, you understand, because it was going to enable us to do other things. Court wedding we can do with my husband's presence. Every other traditional wedding and every other thing can be done behind him, you understand, because work and all that is holding him down in the Netherlands. So when I got ready, because I was happy that, okay, my husband has been given visa. In fact, that visa was just like 3 days. We just paid, we paid something close to, let's say, 700 and something, or let's just say 800, you understand. So we paid and everything was ready. They sent me this, and I sent it to him. He was happy. He was coming to Nigeria. Finally, we're getting to see. So it was a joyful day for us. So my husband, so after we got this thing, now I was in the village then. I was so happy. Then I started planning myself. He told me the hotels. So another challenge we had was hotels, you understand, that we're going to stay in. We wanted a place to stay that was close to where we were getting married, which was Ikoyi Marriage Registry, or just Ikoyi Registry in Victoria Island, you understand. So we searched and searched. He doesn't know how Nigeria works. The one he saw was far, close to what's the name, Synagogue Church of All Nation. I told him there is no way we are going there, you don't know these places. So finally he decided to go with a hotel that is international, called Ibis Hotel, and it's very, very close to the airport. So we settled for Ibis. We made payments online. I don't know that the money did not go or anything. So I, from the village here, got ready. I left here very early in the morning, because my flight was I think my flight was 11. I think so, 10 or 11. So I had to leave here very, very early. I chartered a whole bus, because here there are no cabs, and even the cars that they use for cab, they are not okay, you understand. So I found myself a very good shuttle bus that was so beautiful and clean. In fact, God bless that guy. So the guy charged me, I think he charged me about, was he 80 or 100,000? Okay, no, it wasn't up to 100,000. Let's just say from 80,000 downward, I think. I'm not really sure. So that was what he charged me. Then he took me to the airport direct. That was a relief for me, because I had like 3 luggages, you understand, to travel with. No, I had 2 luggages, because one of my luggage was in Lagos, in my friend's house. So I got to the airport in Lagos. I got to the airport in Enugu, which is a Caribbean airport. I flew to Lagos. On getting to Lagos, it was afternoon. Oh my God, that day the sun was too much. Oh my God. And again, because planes just landed, there were a lot of people. Like, so there was now surge on cabs, that's on boats and Uber. Oh my God, they were calling 100,000. Where I was going is not far, because remember, Ibis Hotel, for those of you that don't know, Ibis Hotel is on the mainland, it's not on the island. So I pay 60,000 from Lagos airport, that's from international airport, from the local airport to Ajah, 60,000. But these people were charging me to pay them 40-50,000 within the same vicinity, because there was surge, you understand. I said no way. So I stayed there. At last I saw a lady, she was speaking Igbo. So I now told her, please, where is she going? She now told me. She now said, do I need any, what's the problem? I told her I can find cab. She said yes, because her own cab, she had to call him from the house to come. So she was paying him both for coming and for going, you understand. So I said, okay, can I join her? Let's split the bills. That was how I joined this Igbo lady, and they took me to Ibis. The first, so Ibis now had 2 Ibis, you understand. One was local Ibis, the other one was international. I never knew, so I went to the local one first. When I showed them the booking, they were like, no, it's the other Ibis. Because even when I got to that first Ibis, it was looking like where they are using firewood to cook. Everywhere was smoky. It was smoky hot. So from there I left. The driver now took me to the international airport. Oh, there was a breath of fresh air when I came. The environment, the swimming pool, everything. I was just like, yeah, at least my husband would like this. My boyfriend then will like this place. So I got there and I realized that the payments we did online did not go. and it will be bad if there is no room left. Hey God. So I said, I called my husband. He was like, what do I mean? Then he went to check and saw that the money was not taken, it was refunded. Then he now said, okay, he now sent me money, you understand, and I had to pay on the spot there. And guess what? God so kind. When we booked online, there was no breakfast with it, you understand. But when I booked while I was there, you understand, present while I was there, breakfast was included. So you see that they say every disappointment in this world is a blessing, is a huge blessing. So breakfast was included. We now entered the room. They now took me upstairs to go and see my room now. Guys, Ibis is beautiful from outside. The pool, the restaurants, the waiting area, everywhere was looking very beautiful. The hallway that leads to the room is looking very beautiful. But when they opened the door, oh my God, the room was like a cubicle. It was tiny. It was small. If you guys have seen me in my room here, I think that's how the room was. Then the television that was now in the room was now, I don't know how many inches. I've never seen that kind of small television before. It was so tiny, and guess what? There was no cable attached to it. No DSTV, no GoTV, no whatever, StarTime TV, nothing. When I turned it on, it was fishy. I was like, is this what we paid for? So I called my husband. His flight was going to take off that night, you understand? So he was going to arrive the following day. So I was like, is this what we pay for? So when I told my husband, I was like, you can imagine the TV that is in this room is as tiny as, he said it's not possible. So when I was complaining, okay, I went to the bathroom. The floor was messy. I had to start washing it before he arrived because I was so ashamed. I was so ashamed of Nigeria, my country. You understand? Such a beautiful hotel, but the bathroom was slimy. The sink was, oh my God. I had to start washing all those things. So I had to start washing all those things. After washing, then the TV, I just turned, let me tell you what happened. Immediately I turned on that television, depression entered. How do I put it? I catch depression. I don't know if that word is correct. Like, I became depressed. I was like, what is this? Is this what we're going to stay in for how many weeks? No way. I was like, no, I beg. Which can this thing be this one? So I just turned it off. I didn't want to turn it on again till he came the following morning. I did not touch the television. I was just using my phone to watch what I was watching. So when my husband arrived in Nigeria, it was his first time in Nigeria, obviously. So he stopped at the airport. He and the cab people bargained. He even paid cheaper than I am. It's morning and he is coming against traffic. So he came. Then the reception, he does not have a Nigerian line to call me now, and his number was no longer working. So the only thing now that we're waiting for is for the receptions to call me to say somebody's looking for me. I feel so emotional because that day was a very good day. Oh my God. It was the first time I was going to see him and he was going to see me. Oh my, I didn't know I was going to be this emotional. So I got a call. Okay, before then, I think his flight landed around 6-ish or 5-ish, but they have to wait for their luggage and all that now, so it took time. So I was worried already, I kept trying the number to see if it would go, because I wanted to see if he connected to the airport Wi-Fi, but his number was not going. I was like, God, I beg go. That was what I was just saying. So finally, the reception call, I didn't even allow the phone to ring finish. I grabbed it immediately. So they were like, hello, Miss Cynthia. We have someone here with the name Joven Sumter looking for you. It's like a dream. I was like, Joven Sumter, please show him up. Guys, I'm not feeling fine because of this thing now. I'm even having more headache. So I was like, please show him up, bring him up. Then one, and I don't know whoever it is, the guy, helped him. They used the lifts. They came upstairs. When they came upstairs, I waited by the elevator. Immediately they opened. I saw one tall, huge guy. I was like, oh my God. He was so tall, white. My husband is not really white. He's how do I put it? You guys have seen his picture now. He's not like Caucasian, okay? He's just light skinned. Though his mother is Chinese, but he's just light skinned. So when I saw him, I was just like, oh my god. Then I hugged him. So I was even reaching, I think I was reaching him here. I don't even know where I was reaching him. You guys know that me, I'm a petite lady. I was just like, yeah, I wait till we go do videos. But I liked it because I've always wanted a tall man since I'm not tall, you understand? It's balance, you know. God knows I was going to give me a tall husband. That was why he made me short. So I hugged him, I kissed him, then we dragged. I couldn't carry the box. He didn't even want me to carry the box. He just, rolled it over to the room. I showed him the room. When he came, he was like, what's this? That's the television. I was like, exactly what I was telling you. He was like, this was not how it was in the picture. I said, it's never how it is in the picture here in Nigeria. When you see one thing, you expect another thing. Sometimes you're lucky, you expect better. Sometimes you are not lucky, you expect worse. In our own case at this moment, this is what we have. Then he went into the bathroom. He was like, why is this place black? And I told him, why is this place black? I am telling you, I am the one that washed this thing. No. He was like, no way. I was like, yes, I was the one that washed this place. And I said, wow, but this thing was looking so good on the phone. And I said, yes, you should be happy that we have this one. Imagine if it was the other one at a synagogue that you choose. Inside, God knows where. You're leaving Lagos already. Because you don't know. They will only show you this kilometer to the airport, that kilometer to the airport. It's not always certain. It's not always correct. Everybody is selling their market. He was disappointed. So from there, he relaxed, he settled down, we ate, we spoke and all that. And then, we already talked about marriage and all that. So the next thing, while we were still talking, he just brought out my engagement ring, which was this one. This was my engagement ring. So he brought it out. My girlfriend was on the phone also speaking with him. So he said he wanted to do it in presence of my girlfriend. Then he wore me the engagement ring because we were talking about marriage, but there was no ring because it was an online thing. So this was the first thing he did. Before he even rested, he engaged me. So my girlfriend was very emotional. She and her husband on the phone, they were very, very emotional. They were like, oh, Cynthia, this is so sweet. This is good. I was emotional myself and all that. All the emotions put in one body. We calmed down. We rested. Okay, so I really want to finish this series on how I met my husband today. So if you've watched it this extent, that means you're really enjoying this story. So from there, we now decided that we should proceed with the dates. You understand? Because we didn't choose any dates. We wanted them to arrive first. So we called the woman from the Ikoyi Ministry of Interior. So we called her, we told her we were ready. She said, is everything set? I said yes. Then she said, send me this document, send me that document. Everything was already set, apart from my birth certificate that I lost. So, but thank God I had the one I snapped, I photocopied with my phone on my phone. You understand? That was my savior. If you ask me today how that birth certificate got missing from my bag, I do not know. If it's spirits that took it, if it's man that took it, I hope they had their good reasons. So I sent her all the documents, we made payments, and then our dates were set. So we were at Ibis for a week. Then I persuaded my husband. I told him, since it's just us here, let's go to the island. At least on the island, I have some family there that we could, get to know each other and all that. So he said, no problem. We were trying to manage our time very, very well. So we went to the island. We got an apartment. So this apartment was actually very big. From the picture, it was actually very beautiful. I loved it. And it was in an estate, you understand? Inside the estate, there is still another gate. So it was very, very secure. I love when there's security a lot, you understand? So we got there, we paid, we stayed for 1 week. We paid for 1 week first. After 1 week, then the next week was the wedding. Right? Yes, the next week was the wedding. So I had my girlfriend and her husband as our witness. Husband and wife did not do witness, but they were the only ones I had in Lagos at that moment. Remember, we are managing time, so because he had to go back very soon. So they came as the witness. Fortunately for us, they accepted them because they were asking, what's your name? They found out that they were bearing the same surname. It would have become an issue, but that woman just said, we don't do this, so but since you have limited time, we're going to do this for you. But I don't want to go into how the wedding went. This will be on the next series, okay? I'll tell you guys how the wedding went. I didn't even know I would get to this extent. But guys, that was what happened. So we got to the island. We met with my friend and her family. This girlfriend of mine, we've been friends for I think over 20 years already. So she's like a sister. And it's her place that I usually stay whenever I don't have a house in Lagos. You understand? I stay in her place. So that was what happened after. So if you want to know how we proceeded to the wedding venue, what happened in the Ikoyi registry, God help us, what happened after, oh my God, it will be another day. I'm not assuring you guys that is what I'll be talking about next week Sunday. It might be another topic, but this particular one I am going to still tell you guys how we went and how we got married and everything, okay? So if you've watched this extent, thank you so much. I really appreciate your presence. If I am telling this story very well, please let me know. If you feel that there are some things I'm leaving out, like I'm not giving it away, that I need to improve in my storytelling, please also let me know in the comment section. It will help me to do better, okay? I will really appreciate your comments. It means a lot to me. It means that you're following, okay? It makes me see you while you see me. Thank you so much, guys. Have a beautiful evening, Sunday evening. I love you all.